Finally tonight, let's talk about the future of education here in the U.S. President-elect Donald Trump continuing to name nominees for his new administration, and he's just announced his pick for Secretary of Education. There's a lot of focus here because Mr. Trump campaigned on a promise to dismantle the education department.
And you know what we're doing here? I say it all the time. I'm dying to get back to do this. We will ultimately eliminate the federal Department of Education and send education back to Wisconsin and back to the states.
So that was on the campaign trail back in September. Then last night, Trump announced that he's picking Linda McMahon as Education Secretary. She served for 2 years as head of the Small Business Administration during Mr. Trump's first term. She is best known for her involvement in pro wrestling as the co-founder and former CEO of the WWE. In a statement on Truth Social, President-elect Trump says, quote, Linda will use her decades of leadership experience and deep understanding of both education and business to empower the next generation of American students and workers and make America #1 in education in the world. We will send education back to the states, and Linda will spearhead that effort. Right now, education is primarily a state and local responsibility in this country, but the federal education department does provide oversight, college financial aid, a lot of K-12 funding, especially for special education, and enforces non-discrimination laws like Title IX and the Americans with Disabilities Act. Let's welcome an important voice in this right now. Dr. Meg Keller-Cogan is the director of Canisius University's graduate program in educational leadership and supervision and joins me now live. Great to have you on the show, and I want to just get your reaction. I mean, I guess there are some, questions we don't sort of know what's going to happen here, right? But if you listen to just what the incoming president has said on the campaign trail, dismantling the Department of Education, what do you think that would mean for our local schools?
Well, I think it depends on the degree to which he plans to dismantle it. There are several functions that the federal Department of Education oversees. One of them is funding. The other is equity opportunities for students. The other, and I think that probably one of the most significant, is assuring that there's an equal amount of rigor from state to state so that the students who attend schools in this country are globally competitive. It used to be that our focus would primarily be on helping students be successful to get out of high school and get a strong job. Now every economy is a world economy. We are interconnected in terms of competitiveness for those jobs. And the U.S. Department of Education was created by Congress in the early 1980s to help to elevate the education standards that our students were being held accountable to so that we were more globally competitive. So my question is, how will we assure that state by state we maintain the competitive edge?
In terms of the funding, at the same time as the incoming president is saying he wants to sort of just get rid of this department, there also is the Department of Government Efficiency, right, headed up by Elon Musk and a former presidential candidate. They're saying they're going to cut $2 trillion from the federal budget. There's not a lot of discretionary spending or money available in the federal budget. Do you worry that it's not just dismantling sort of what the U.S. Education Department does, but also how much money it has to give to the states and to our schools here in Western New York?
Well, right now the department is basically has a little bit under 1.5% of the department monies in the federal department. And so my concern would be any minimization of resources that are necessary to hire the most qualified teachers, to be able to support the success of individual schools, and especially in this time where there's growing complexity in the work that's being done in our schools. And so any effort to cut back on those resources, I think, is an effort to undermine the success of not only our students, but our country and our country's stability economically.
I only have about 15 seconds left. I apologize for that. Presumably Congress would have to be involved in a lot of this. What would be your message to our members of Congress?
Please listen to education experts and understand the implications of all the decision making prior to making them.
Very concise. I appreciate that. Dr. Meg Keller-Cogan with Canisius University. Really great to have you on. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Michael.
You bet. All right.